I've lost one fish, right? One fish. I actually broke my main line.
No.
Yeah. I'm playing it like this.
Tobe, can we get some like really dark, sad violin music behind this little section?
Should we tell them about how costly that 40 grams was?
The Fishing Gurus podcast.
Got two good bits of good news for us to start the show, boys. First one. Walterland champions and second!
Go on the boys!
Gets better. Toby's not got a mic for this podcast.
Yes!
Hey! How's it feel, Tobe?
Good.
Sorry, mate, say it again.
Doesn't matter what I said.
The audience is now sat in their cars or on the settee thinking, yes, I can't hear him.
Can't hear you, Tobe.
On a serious note, are we looking on the shots? Can you see through these trophies or do you need us to move them?
Unfortunately, hi, Tobe. Tank is the only one I can see.
Sorry, what did you say, Tobe? Come on, let's get a few of these.
Get 'em out.
Look at them all.
Go on.
What the trophies?
Impressive trophies, aren't they?
Obviously, we got back, folks, about 12 hours ago last night. We had a long drive back from Austria. Went to Austria after the match on Sunday. And on our way back, we thought, you know what? We'll all get together. We've got to pass the office. We'll do you a little podcast about how we won the Walterland Masters and came second in it as a team. I'm saying that we absolutely wazzed it, lads.
Did all right, didn't we?
We didn't do bad, did we?
Very good.
Roon, give everyone listening a bit of background about this event, some facts, some figures. What is the Walterland Masters? How many people compete? What's it mean to be a part of this event?
Oh, it's massive, isn't it? It's probably the biggest thing other than the World Championships and Euros, I suppose. And it's an opportunity for people that don't fish in those teams to be able to compete at the highest level on probably, I'm going to say it now, I'll probably get shocked for this, one of the fairest venues there is. It's a 2.5 kilometre rowing course. We're lucky enough that Tamas puts us up on site in a beautiful sort of, it's like accommodation for the rowers, isn't it?
I'd say we were Olympic athletes for a week.
Well, I was going to say that.
Weren't we?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's brilliant. And I think this year was the biggest one ever. 48 teams, if I'm correct.
46 teams.
46 teams. What we got here?
Yeah, 184 people fishing.
Yeah, 184 people fishing. You get 2 days practice, 3 days competition. Yeah, it's just incredible. The people there, 19 different countries competing.
Record that was.
Yeah. Any other facts? You know any other facts?
I think it just felt great to actually win it because obviously you boys absolutely blitzed the feeder one last year.
Yeah.
We'd come second in the pole one, which was agonising, wasn't it, Tank, year before?
Difficult year fishing that as well, wasn't it? Earlier part in the year, April, and the weather was bad, wasn't it? And you
one fish away.
You did fantastic.
Like one, if you'd have caught half a Crassio, literally a tail of a Crassio, we'd have won it.
Is he blaming you there, James?
I think, to be fair, I've got some blame to chuck back at him soon.
Yeah, I think there's a bit coming Tanky's way.
There's a little bit coming.
But no, it is probably, well, for me, it's the biggest competition I've ever fished. It's the highlight of the year. The organisation, Tamas's team, and that you feel very special fishing that event.
Bob, you fish obviously every week in England, do fantastic, and this is like one of your annual trips abroad for the year.
Yeah.
For someone who fishes in England, what's it like fishing that venue, that line of 184 anglers together, close pegging, all the poles? How does it feel as an angler being sat there for people who might not have experienced this kind of thing?
It is a little bit surreal when you're used to fishing, I don't know, venues, an acre, maybe 2 acres every week. And then I was lucky, well, I don't know, unlucky or unlucky. I drew virtually the middle of the rowing course a couple of times. And you stand at the top of the bank, look up and down, and there's just anglers as far as you can see, poles going out as far as you can see.
2.5 kilometres long, isn't it?
About 2.5 kilometres long. Exactly 2.5 kilometres. Yeah, it is mental when you stand at the top of the bank and look at it. Yeah, and the fishing is, like you say, incredible. Quite tricky fishing this year, wasn't it? It wasn't prolific, but it made it almost better, I think, because every fish counted. And yes, as someone who fishes, like you said, mainly commercials a lot of the time, it was, very, very different, but probably the most enjoyable match of the year, or set of matches of the year, definitely.
I think if Downs is listening, we should get Bob signed up because he does unbelievably good every time we go there, doesn't he?
Very, very consistent.
Mate, if I was picking an England team, he'd be in every one.
Oh,
definitely, 100%. Bit more about the venue, Tank.
That was the right words you wanted me to use.
That's it. Maybe that tenner later.
You've been to Zeghead quite a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, give us a bit of info on what fish we actually target, the size of them, what are the depths and the conditions like when we're actually fishing on this venue?
The depths are like so uniform. It's the exact same depth pretty much within 2 or 3 inches from that 2.5 kilometre long stretch of water. And I think a lot of the time the fish it changes every time you go. Every year is slightly different. Sometimes it's, you know, when we came on the feeder, that was the best I've ever seen it in terms of the fishing. The weights were ridiculously high and the fishing was fantastic. It was brilliant this year. Slightly scaled down version in terms of what you caught, fish wise, in terms of kilos, weights, quantities. But the fish really are Carassios. They're sort of an odd one of them kicking about, but the main fish that we're all fishing for are carp, mostly commons, an odd mirror, and they range from, I don't know how big would you say, a kilo to 3 kilo?
4 kilos are real
4
big.
kilos is a big fish. That's
Yeah.
like, I don't think I've seen probably one double figure fish in them 7 days. So they're all like the average sort of match size carp which you'd be used to in England, but they're a bit different to English carp, as in we've all got loads of cuts on his fingers.
Yeah,
I got
ruined.
absolutely nailed on the middle day. That was horrendous on the feeder match because you can't fully feeder properly.
There's them spikes
it's
on
the
the fins,
spikes,
isn't it?
They
Yeah,
have a
so-
really sharp dorsal, didn't they?
So sharp, like totally different to English carp and carp I've caught abroad, really. But they're cool fish. They fight like mad.
It's like they've got a turbo, innit? They're
Yeah,
going for it.
yeah. The first run usually is like, oh my god, I'm gonna get broke, and then you turn it, it's like,
So good feeling though, isn't it, when you get one?
And I think the depths wise, it's literally, I'd say about 8 foot up and down, which is a lovely depth for a pole because it's deep enough to feel like you can hold fish and feed, a good amount of bait, which we're definitely keeping secret.
Yeah.
Of this podcast.
Everyone now, folks, if you're listening, is glaring at Tank with a vicious "do not speak too deeply about tactics because we have to go back next year."
Yeah.
Reminder, Tank.
Yeah. But we've been a lot of times, and when we went in April and it was freezing cold, it was like -6, I think was the coldest on an evening. It didn't get above 4 degrees, so you were fishing for, if you caught 2 carp, you'd had an amazing day. One of the days I never caught a carp, I caught a few carassios, but then some other times you go when it's a little bit warm and the temperatures, the water temperatures increase, it's lift off,
Yeah, like on the feeder, you needed 20 fish to do any good in
20
your section.
fish?
20 carp to do
That's-
any good in your section.
Yeah, you're only looking for like a dozen this time, weren't
Yeah.
you? But
Yeah.
catching a dozen
Good
wasn't
though, innit? It's
easy.
different, innit?
Yeah, it's totally different. I mean, the middle day I had about 20 to 25 carp, and I weighed like 35 kilo, and that's
Like £80.
and it's unreal fishing. That's in 4 hours as well. Everyone, it's like 4 hours, international style rules. It's one of the best venues I've fished.
Denty, give us a bit about format for the week. Obviously, you fish internationally, fish with the England team, and this event follows a similar format in terms of practice and match days, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's tweaked a little bit. Obviously, not on normal international duty, you'll have like 5 days practice official and then a 2-day match.
I would die doing that, by the way.
Which obviously everyone really wants to fish the competition, don't they? In the match
Yeah.
days. So I think that's why Thomas has tweaked it, and we've got only 2 days practice, but that go fast. 5 days practice goes fast. You always feel like you need more, but 2 are important, and then a 3-day match, which I feel like is great. A 3-day of actual competition fishing.
Yeah. Almost feel like
Everything.
even if you did have a bit of a wobbler on the first day, you've got a bit more time to tweak it and pull it round if you needed to as well, haven't you?
Yeah, and then on the flip side, if you do well on the first day,
Yeah.
you got to maintain it. haven't
Yeah.
you? So it's each one can go each way.
What about tactically, Bob? I want to ask you about this because I feel like you were integral in actually sorting the tactics this time. How did our practice go? And for people at home, without giving too much away,
You're not giving me much here, are you?
no, I'm not. But how did we sort of learn about the best way to fish, and how did we practice as a team? I think people would find that quite interesting.
Yeah, it was good listening to you and James, especially so much international experience. We sort of decided a plan on how people were going to fish the night before, which was really important.
Yes,
Just knocking his
sex-
microphone with the glass.
Setting the practice up was
yeah, setting the practice up
so
and
important.
getting everyone to do just something a little bit different, because as everyone knows, when everyone's in a line, the small differences you can make to feeding amounts of bait in different areas of your peg makes massive differences, and setting up your peg properly in the pre-bait was going to be vitally important, because you're treading a tight line between getting the right amount of fish in your peg but also being able to catch them. It's tricky, isn't it? It's really tricky. And we had a little bit of success when we went a couple of years ago in April. I actually won the last match day fishing just slightly differently to what we did all week. And the gist of it is a good amount of bait short of your pole tip, so it's 13 meter limit. So feeding a good amount of bait short of your pole tip, and then a few tricks that you can play on your pole tip at 13 meters to catch the carp, basically, because that's what we're all fishing for. We're all trying to catch the carp. And it's hard to hide it, because rattling in corn was really good. It seemed to draw some fish in.
It was so important, wasn't it? I mean, we can talk about that, can't we? Because everyone's seen us doing it. You came up with that. What's that all about? And why did it work so well, do you think?
I think it works so well because we put in a volume of bait short, and then you're trying to pick them off at the back of your bait, spreading it out and making a bit of noise. I think is important. I think in Europe it's maybe not, because we do it so much with pellets, making noise. Maybe I took it from a bit of commercial fishing, but just drawing those fish in that are in the area. A lot of the time, catching one first chuck wasn't rare. Keep in mind, you're only fishing for a handful of fish. But you look up and down the match length after a couple of minutes, usually there's someone playing one. So if you can force in a few fish to your swim straight away, it was important. So rattling in some corn on the pre-bait was really almost like integral to your chances of getting one first chuck, or as good as first chuck. So, and over a little bit of an area was good. I think foul looking fish, some teams would like, some anglers, where they've possibly fed too much or not set their peg up quite correctly, they might. I spoke to one guy on the first day, he foul looked 8 in the first hour. You never land a foul looker, shall we just say.
Wasn't it weird?
You don't.
Never land a foul looker, do you?
They're just too angry, aren't they? The trick is, though, weren't it? It's basically, it's 180 of you putting bait in. Yeah. You've got to make them come to your swim. And the hardest thing then is catching one in the mouth. That was the trick, and that's where it made all the difference. Everyone could get fish in their swim by feeding, but it was having that right amount. Doing it at the correct time.
Exactly. And
presenting a little morsel to nick one.
Either corn or maggots on the hook. I didn't really put much else on the hook. I know some of you guys caught on some bloodworm and some worms and stuff like that. But maggots, corn. But just setting your peg up correctly was so important to getting a fish in your peg and catching it in the mouth, because you foul look one, it's almost just a write-off, isn't it? You're not gonna land it. So getting everything right at the start was probably the most important thing.
Even setting your peg up, and you might not catch to start with, but you've done the right thing to start with, and you've 2 hours into the match, but you're still confident that you're all ready to go, and when they do come, you're still going to catch them and hook them in the mouth.
There were quite
massive part of it.
Quite a few of us at second match day. I think I got one carp an hour and a half in. And ended up with 17 kilos in the second half of the match. And that's because of exactly what you've said. Fed it right at the start, not blown it by shafting a load of bait in. So when they do come in, you've got enough bait there, you can still catch them.
Good word. Shafting.
Shafting. Word of the week. Shafting.
You knew when people around you had blown the peg as well. It was really interesting, wasn't it?
I think you tricked a few, Bob, because when you're rattling the corn in from a height, obviously everyone thinks we've got pots full and full and full of corn. And I don't know about you lot, but I could sense the second day the people were piling corn in, and then the third day everyone had got it, and they were like, it were a little bit trickier because everyone were just rattling a little bit of corn in, weren't they?
It's funny, halfway through the matches you're doing it and you get a good little run, and people are trying to copy you, and they'll watch you. I'm seeing this one guy to my left, he's like looking at me doing it. He's, you're not watching his flow. He's like, how much is he putting in? And he's like, next chuck he were doing it, like you watching me like tap 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 tap, and he were doing the same, and he goes funny.
Sort of feel a bit awkward when you pause in the air and you're tapping it out, and then everyone else is like
staring at you.
You're like, what?
They're not used to it, but that's Bob's like commercial experience. I think it's a massive thing that was important, especially early on in the session, for getting fish in your peg.
100%. The fish, we've dwelled on how hard they fight and how demanding the actual fishing is. And we actually use this event every year to do a bit of tackle testing, don't we? And this year, I mean, that's your department more than Rooney, isn't it? But it must be good for you to sit there and see everyone, I'm saying, putting the gear really through its paces with them big, hard fighting fish.
Yeah, if you want to test products, that's the place to go for sure. So, like this time, we've we've got our new elastic, which is being tested, and it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
Like, we spent a lot of time, elastic's elastic, but you lot are so fussy. We've had to make it as good as we can, and like, when you go for a week there and people are fighting over the samples we've got, you got it right. And one thing that I noticed that we do so well, even in practice and in the match, and lots of people comment, was how quick we land fish compared to anyone else.
Yeah.
We're shipped back to our top 3 kit, and our fish are in within a couple of minutes, whereas other teams, they take 4 or 5 minutes to land a carp. You're on your next one. I think that was a massive thing for us.
You often got 2 in 2 chucks. So
Yeah,
getting them
you
in
did,
quick.
yeah. But I think other teams missed that opportunity because they spent so long. And I do notice as well, they take it so easy at the start, and that fish is in their peg. It just makes me like cringe when you leave a fish swimming around in your peg. It's like, for me, get it out of the way so you can get back in. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else we tested.
A few carbon products, didn't we?
Yeah.
Tested a few new bits and bobs.
I fished with a different pole, which was quite impressive. Very strong, created quite a lot of interest on the venue. Dave used one as well, sort of lower level one, which was really impressive.
A few landing net poles, we had a little tweak off.
I had a good go with one.
Yeah, some new
Nets.
landing nets. Yeah, tank broke one.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
Doesn't always go to
So
fun,
that one's back to the drawing board. I used a net as well. When you go there, these spines on the carp there's nowhere like it. I've never fished anywhere like it. They're just like, it's like a really forged, barbed spine,
Serration
and
almost,
it
isn't
wrecks every net. I think last year you did like 4 or 5 nets
Every
a
net,
year.
yeah.
So I did a new range of nets this year, just like more going back towards like the latex stuff, but I put really big mesh on it, so nothing could really get caught. It was a little bit heavy to use, but I used it all week. It's not got a mark on it. It was fantastic.
Nice.
So for that sort of fishing, there's definitely, whether you'll sell loads of that style of net, but it worked. So yeah, it's really, I love that side of things, as you know. And like you say, giving it to you, lot of idiots, testing the stuff, you get a true reflection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How good stuff can be.
Or how bad it could
Or
be.
how badly it can be abused before it breaks. Tank.
In terms of match days, obviously this is where we can really flex our muscles, because I think we absolutely smashed it. And I'm going to put this over to James. Do you want my little sheet of paper
What, a few points?
with the points written down?
Go on then.
And we're very well prepared. Not even got my laptop, folks, because we drove straight back last night. But Dent Dog, give us a little rundown on scores on the doors, how we actually got on, and how the 3 match days progressed. And let's hear a little bit from you, because we're going to end up talking about your individual result in this as well.
So obviously, day one's come. We've spent a lot of time trying to perfect the method, which I feel like we had quite sewn up, or as it proved, we did have.
What percentage would you say we were there on the first day?
I'd say we were 80% there, 85% there.
Agreed.
So yeah, on the first day, obviously we come second on the day, second and third on the day. The red team second, blue team third, which was quite nice actually, because Peter Bacco's
For you?
yeah, Peter Bacco's Marosh team won it. So
9 points, yeah.
Incredible, 9
9
points.
points. We were like, we need to try and beat 9
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, and Bacco's like the local god expert.
He's like the Andy
venue.
Bennett Partridge.
He's just a joke.
The equivalent.
Really nice lad
Yeah.
he is. Really nice lad.
23 points is worse in section. Was it 23 the worst you
Yeah.
could get?
Yeah,
23.
23, yeah.
And over 4 they got 9 points.
It's incredible, really.
Okay, this is going to be fun.
But because obviously they won, all eyes weren't really. I know we had 2 teams that done well, but the eyes were on them.
Yeah.
So I felt like our method went under the radar a little bit. So we got another half a match out of it before everyone clocked
Bang
onto
right,
it.
yeah.
So after day one, a few little bits come back. Bobby, a bit more aggressive back. Not as much on your tip. Roon, bit of calm mush. Few little, them extra 5 and 10% tweaks that we took into day 2 took us up to beating the Marosh score.
Yeah!
See how I teed that up?
With 7 points, so which incredible, really. Obviously, not everyone knows, but the results are like live as you're weighing in.
Yeah.
So when we're obviously all stood on the bank and watching, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just watching my phone.
I just lay on the bank.
I weigh in,
Yeah.
and then I just take me
It
hoodie off.
was
and lay on
dead
the
easy
bank.
to find you guys on there because you just go, yep, section 1, top, section 2, top. Oh, look, they've won that section too.
But yeah, what was
incredible.
it? A win in 3 seconds?
No, I were third.
Oh, sorry, Tom.
Oh, tank.
Right.
A win 2 seconds and a
This
third.
is probably the
So
most
must have been.
costly third position.
You had 2 wins. I think
Ever.
you both won your
You're
section.
cowering there.
Yeah, I'm like scared.
Go on, tell us about this then. Tell us about.
on the middle day, we've obviously. It's funny because I was looking at that exact.
It's not that funny.
Ranglister, is it called? Whatever
Yeah.
it is. That it's like
It's the Hungarian Federation system of results.
it's absolutely credible.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So accurate. Like
And so fast.
Yeah,
how
well-
it come...
Why can't we have something like that in our fishing in the UK?
I think we can.
Yeah, but like, I'm not being funny. When we're weighing in a national or a big match, it's ages before the
so good,
results.
yeah.
That one,
hours.
the last man weighs in, and
You know it.
5 minutes later,
You got the total.
the results are all worked
Yeah,
out.
It's incredible.
Well, someone would text you in England saying, "Oh, well done,"
Yeah, someone
Yeah.
texted me
And
well done before we
yeah.
won you.
before even the results have come out.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
we
Like, they're on
need that.
there.
We need that in our UK top end match fishing, without a doubt, in my opinion.
I think you're
Incredible.
right.
Incredible.
But,
Sorry, Tank, go on.
It's all right.
I don't really want to hear about this bit anyway.
It was funny. I'm going to start with your result on the second day because I'm watching this system coming through, and you're down as 13th.
Oh yeah,
And I was
what
like,
happened actually.
"Oh no, we've blown it." And I thought, "Oh, it's thinking because I'm third. I know you've won. I think Bill was second." And I thought
James
3
has blown
brilliant
it, you mean?
results. Yeah, and I thought James has blown it. I thought, no. I thought, what's happened? James doesn't do that. And I looked, and I'm thinking, oh, well, we'll have to have a really good final day because we might be pushed here. And then all of a sudden, it refreshed, and you're top. And I'm like,
Yeah, so
He
what
scored
had
it,
happened? They'd
yeah.
put the guy above me, the like 1 peg away, all the points. So everybody had got the wrong way on the whole
yeah.
thing, but then it all got
it
sorted
refreshed,
out.
and
Yeah.
then top James Dent, 20 kilos. Yeah, buzzing. But back onto the third result, middle day, I actually had 35 kilo 700. I was third on the match. So the end section of D, with A, B, C, and D section, the furthest one closest to where we were actually staying. Was the best section on that day. It was absolutely solid. We were all catching loads of fish. I think there were loads of 20 kilos, loads of fish there. It was brilliant. I've had a great match. I've lost 1 fish, right? 1 fish. I actually broke my main line.
No.
Yeah. I'm playing it like this.
Schoolboy.
I'm playing it. I think it's bolted off. I thought it's coming back. Yes. And it's just, oh, weird. And I wasn't even putting any pressure on it. Come back, and it's between my 2 shots, my dropper shots. It's cut.
That's the fin.
It's the fin. So what
It's the
cuts
fin.
your fingers? This obviously must have grated on it and just cut off. I thought, I hope that don't cost me. And inside, I'm annoyed. I swore.
What did you say? What were you?
I went flipping a heck.
Oh, bugger.
Oh,
Dear me.
slippery. And I thought, that's going to cost me that. I know it is. I'm having a nice match. It's going well. It's going to cost me. But we're weighing in. And Marco Genovese, really nice bloke. He's actually,
Are you related to him?
he's my
Not much of a
second
fan, to be honest.
brother.
He's better at fishing, though.
You won't like him. He weighed in. He was winning the section 35 kilo 740, and I'm weighing in. I'm thinking, I'm going to be close to this. I've got 23 carp. I think. I thought if they average at that, I might have 30 to 35 kilo here. And I've weighed in, and I counted it up in my head, and I'm thinking I've weighed my first net in 22 kilos. So my next one, I'm thinking, oh my god, this is like grams, and they've counted it all up, and they've counted 35 kilos 700, 40 grams, right, which is not even a large hybrid feeder, right. I've missed out on that result by, and I thought that 1 carp that's cut me off,
Oh no.
and I'm like,
You've had it on the hook.
I've had it on the hook. It were a big fish as well. That it were like, come off. But anyway, Bacco was next to the end peg, and you put him there, and curtains. To be fair, he won the match. I think it was the highest weight of the week, 47 kilo.
49 kilo.
49. You weren't ever touching him. He was
100
just
and odd pound in 4
from-
hours.
from
He's
the
a
first-
detonator in a minute.
Yeah.
from the first drop till the last. He was playing a carp, and I'm like, well, he's unbeatable there. I'm thinking, right, please come second. Please come second. But should we tell him about how costly that 40 grams was?
Well, you're gonna have to
We'll have
now,
to,
aren't you?
yeah.
We can get some.
Speed it up.
Tobe, can we get some like really dark, sad violin music behind this little section?
So 40 grams, which I googled it at the time. I was so annoyed, and everyone was going to say well done to me for catching 35 kilo, but they knew I was really peed off, and they just walked away.
You
So I was
googled
like,
40 grams.
yes,
No, you won't know what it was equivalent to in ounces.
in ounces.
Ah, right.
Right.
What is it?
1.41 ounces.
Oh.
Right, when you've got 78, nearly 80 pound of fish, I'm like, I am sick.
You
Right.
didn't mention it again, though, did you?
No, I didn't mention it one more time.
Has it got to you much time?
It's still hurting, right? But it's going to hurt him more than me, to be fair. Because if I'd have had 41 grams more, I'd have been third individual. I ended up fourth, so I'd have been on the podium, right? But it had also meant that James would have won individually, because I would have
Tank.
beaten Marco. Because Marco actually won the individual contest.
He
So
did. He was
it was
awesome,
meant
wasn't
to
he?
happen for him. Like,
Yeah.
And he's told me, I ain't told you this yet, and this is the truth,
You
right?
got one foul looked.
He got one. He got one. 5 seconds to go. He's lifted it out of the water, about £3.
Oh, no.
5 seconds. He said
Didn't
when he
know
had it
that.
in his net, they went all out, because the rules are if you've got it in the water, they don't count.
No.
So he was pulling like mad, and he said to me, he was like, I'm glad I beat you. And I was like, cheers, Marco. Yeah.
I'll tell you
I'm
one
glad.
thing. You won't mess about with him. He's a big lad, isn't he?
A great battle would be James and Marco.
Imagine that. Like just in boxer shorts.
Oil.
No, it's all
Yeah.
getting weird now.
Yeah.
No.
Oiled up.
In front of the
No,
bandstand at
no.
Zeghead
One
on them
podcast.
floating platform.
No,
Well, like
no.
gladiators. We could get them on that floating platform.
Anyway, that Tubatini team.
Tamas,
don't
if
they?
you're listening,
Yeah,
that is
brilliant.
entertainment for
No,
Saturday
Matt,
night.
be quiet, please.
James and
Have a
Marco, gladiator battle.
But that was
To be
Really
fair to
costly.
Marco, though, he absolutely annihilated it.
Fantastic
Massive
angler.
he had the
Way
highest
over
weight of the
the-
week. Yeah.
Won the
Yeah.
big fish that everybody wants.
Yeah.
The big fish
They're
trophy.
so consistent, that team, aren't they?
They
They're
were
like,
third.
Lenz-
yeah. You don't want to be near them, do you?
Tubatini, Lenza,
Emiliano,
Emiliano.
yeah.
Lovely guys as well.
Yeah,
really
brilliant.
Nice guys.
Yeah, they catch some fish.
It's basically the international Italian team.
Yeah.
They're all Italian internationals who fish. Yeah.
But we sort of skipped a bit there because we went right
Yeah.
to the end of the individual.
It turned into
But-
the tank show again, didn't it?
Oh, well, you can't.
Oh,
stop
sorry.
it,
Great
can you?
story, though.
Yeah,
Jack.
cool
very
story,
good
Tank.
story.
Cool story,
Yeah,
bro.
cool story, bro.
Sorry, James.
Come on, Bob. Give us a cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah. So after our 7 points on day 2, and blue team 23 points on day 2, we've actually climbed up into first and second positions, which is a feat in itself. I'm saying to go into the last day, lying in first and second, and the pressure was on really to stay in them positions, and obviously everybody knew what we were doing, or they were trying to do as close as they could do. And I've been there before, and people bank running and stuff like that, and you stood back and you're like, oh yeah, they're definitely doing this, but unless you can see what's going in the pot or what's in the ground bit or what's all that, it's so difficult. It's just a guessing game, really.
We were videoed and crowds behind us every day.
Yeah.
It's pain, innit? You know
Yeah.
when the knickers land on your roller and you have to take them off?
Yeah.
So annoying.
The bouquets of flowers that get on my nerves.
Yeah.
Throwing them in your bag and that.
Have you got a tube that you keep all yours in?
Meg might be. Her mum listens to these.
Does she?
Yeah. keep
Hi,
it
Meg's
quiet.
Hi.
Yeah, I have, James.
All right.
Your
well.
contributions have been greatly received, though.
They'd be like parachutes. wouldn't they?
All right. Sorry. Yeah, so going into the last day, we needed to maintain our previous 2 days' results. And the red team managed to score 20 points, which didn't win the day. Second on the day,
Who won the last day?
Lenza Emiliana.
Matt let us down, didn't he?
Yeah, I had
To
a bad day
be
last
fair,
day.
you don't get many opportunities to give him a bit of a
No,
ribbing,
no,
so
no. he
Talk
did.
us through it then,
talk
Matt.
us through it.
I had an hard one, lads. I come 10th out of 23 peg section. And,
Oh, that's really bad.
No, but it's. I tell you what, it does though. We always say, and we said on the Tuesday night before the match days, you need to avoid a blowout to do
Yeah.
well in these. And like,
There were some tricky areas in some of the
Oh, yeah.
sections as the fishing.
Oh yeah.
It got harder in areas. So, and I think you were definitely.
well,
in that
me
area.
and Bob were
One peg
8th
apart.
and 10th, weren't we?
Seventh.
7th and 10th.
Don't drag me down with you.
Yeah. 11th, Bob.
I mean, seventh's a much more acceptable
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Seven.
Of course it is.
Double figure points.
Oh yeah,
Just don't happen, does it?
but it.
To be fair, if he'd have come back with a 7th, I think we would have won the day.
Ah.
Anyway, end of the show, lads. Thanks a lot. No, I had a tough one that last day, and
He's even made some notes on it. Look,
it's horrible. It's horrible when you. I tell you when it kicks in, when it's like 20 minutes of the match to go, and you're like, I need to catch a couple of you.
Oh, yeah.
Got to catch a couple.
Not
and the
only
big fish.
hook one, you've got to get it out. It's in the mouth.
Bottle
all
job,
that.
wasn't it?
Yeah. It's proper balls on the side tray.
and you can't push it, can you?
No.
because
If you do, you ruin it even more.
Yeah,
But it's what makes it exciting as
it
well.
does. It does.
And I had one in the last 5 minutes and flipping. You don't realise it when you're playing them. But then when you put them in your keep net and you go to put some bait on the hook after, you're like, oh my God, I can't even get me maggots on. Because you know every carp matters, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that one probably got us another 5 or 6 points. But yeah, it's exciting.
It is exciting
Yeah.
fishing, isn't it? Every single one that you hook is...
It's not
Well,
like,
I don't know about you, but it gets my heart going.
Oh, big
it's like
time.
nothing else, is
There's
it?
no other feeling hooking them in that situation. So yeah, got 27 points for the blue team on the last day as well, which I'm saying we'd done it pretty much. We didn't know officially, but I don't think it could have gone much better, to be honest.
No. I think it's worth saying at this point as well, the two teams, we've not really mentioned who's in what team. And not everyone could come to the podcast today, mainly because Tobe's not got enough microphones. But obviously, red team.
And plus, we probably killed a few of the members of the team for their first introduction into international fishing.
I think Brenda will sleep for about a week now, won't he?
Yeah, I think he's in his little blanket at home now.
I spoke to Bill this morning and he was still asleep.
Yeah.
He just woke up.
Really?
Let's go
half
through the
nine.
teams anyway. So the red team was
James Dent, Bill Reynolds, Tank, and myself. And your blue team
was myself, the master, Robbie Taylor,
Bobo,
King Dave from Scotland, Dave McCauley, and on his debut, little Brandon George, old Brenda.
I think we need to mention special mention for Brenda as well.
Yeah.
First match day, section winner,
He
wasn't
won the
it?
section,
Unreal.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah,
Won it
incredible.
easily as well, didn't he?
Washed it.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Absolutely washed it.
he had a lovely day as well, didn't he? He was buzzing. So he's been great. I think it's been a real eye opener for him, and I think he's absolutely loved it. But we have killed him off, I think.
Yeah.
And then another shout out we do need to give is to Billy Reynolds. What an absolute legend of a man.
We were
Travelled with
nearly
him.
crying, you know, when we'd won.
Yeah,
He
he
came
was
round the
right,
bank.
He was crying when he came
I
to
could
me.
see a
but
tear in his
Yeah,
eye.
yeah.
He were genuinely,
Yeah.
we were buzzing. We hugged each other. I thought, this is, you don't get that sort of buzz from anything individually.
No.
That's why the team thing's so good.
Even a lot of domestic match fishing.
Yeah.
For me personally, I can't get the same buzz
No.
out of it than I can this kind of event.
No, Bill's
was brilliant.
Bill's a very special guy in our team. I picked him out when I was about 12 years old at Hayford Fishery when I used to go and watch the Super League finals. I knew he had something going on there. And then all these years later, I get to sponsor him and they got to be part of that. So it's really special. And Dave, bless him, he's been not very well for the whole time, really struggling with a cold and that. And he's battled through and he's had some amazing results. Won his section on the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was buzzing and he caught a few on the feeder match as well. So he was over the moon. But
He's done brilliant, hasn't he?
well, first and second, didn't we? So
Well, look at that
There
for
he
a
is,
picture.
go
That's
on.
a great picture.
Bill to the left.
the
Dave
two
to the
old
right.
campaigners in the team.
Yeah.
What did you call them, Matt?
Granddad and Grandpa.
Buzzards.
Yeah. What was funny is obviously there's lots of people from different countries on this event, and Dave is the most broad Scottish man you'll ever meet in your life.
Oh, hold on one sec. How does he say Burger King, Bob?
Burger King.
Worms? He says worms even better.
Worms.
Worms. Sorry, what did you catch on? Worms.
Probably wants to kill us all. Mate.
He's an absolute ledge.
Yeah, he's
But
been
it was made even angrier because he was a bit poorly as well. So he was like a real angry Scotsman, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was angry, yeah.
Definitely. But there's some friends we've got from Lithuania. One's Pav, who actually sorts all the bloodworm and stuff out for us.
Yeah, you give him too much information.
Yeah, I did, didn't we?
Yeah, you did.
Did he have you next peg?
Yeah, he did.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
You said that he copied you, but he said that you copied him.
honestly, I shipped my pole out and lifted it up. He was like looking to check what height it was at. And then last hour, he's like lost the will to live. We were in a real tough section, and he's like double corned it, flicked it out, and caught free. If you're watching Pov, I hate you. I don't really. He's a lovely lad.
Well,
lovely lad.
He was sat on our bed, wasn't he, while we were tying some hooks up, and Dave's walked in the room and said something like, "What hooks are you using for tomorrow?" Blah, blah. That were Irish.
They
man.
are
Irish day.
Good morning to you, lads.
Hybrids are in the river.
Burger King.
Pov has just burst out laughing and gone, "How do you understand him? Like, what even is that?" And I'm sure Pov thinks Dave's an alien.
Oh, legendary.
What were the overall scores, Denty? Just to give some perspective, because I'm really proud, like massively proud of how well both teams did in this. And I know how good the other teams are. You've got a load. I mean, basically the Dutch national team, the Slovakian national team, the Hungarian national team, the Italian national team, and more. Just to name a little handful off the cuff there.
The Walterland teams.
Exactly.
Fish it all the time,
There's
yeah.
so many.
The Bulgarians
The standard is
take
unbelievable.
the mick when it's corn fishing.
The standard's ridiculous. And to score these scores in that company, I think we should all be massively proud, and I certainly am. But give us a little, I mean, first, second, third, and beyond. What, you know?
So the red team scored 38 points over the 3 days, which
Incredible.
it,
It's incredible.
Ridiculous.
if
You added
just said
most
that,
of them.
I chucked 10 into that pot there in one day.
If you just said we were going to score 38 before we got there, I'd say it will probably. Well, it is possible, but it'd be a hard.
I'd have said,
feat
what,
to
the
do.
first day, second day, or
Yeah,
third
third
day?
day.
38 on one day would have been commendable.
It's not terrible, is it?
We had
38
42 on the day that you weren't in April.
What, when I didn't catch out?
Yeah, 42.
He likes getting that one in, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he does. Yeah. To be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah,
bone.
38 points for the red team, and then the blue team, phenomenal 62 points, which I'm saying 62 would probably normally win it.
Yeah.
I don't know if 38 points is actually a record.
Someone put on my Facebook post yesterday, they think it's a record, but it's not 100%.
official.
Well,
Tamas will tell us, won't
Tamas
he?
will tell us, yeah.
And then obviously Lenza Emiliana in third place with 79 points. So there was a little bit to spare, really, for both the teams that have put 3 amazing performances in.
yeah, brilliant.
Absolutely awesome.
Unbelievable. Actually, when we got beat on the last year by 1 point, I said to Matt, we will win this.
Yeah.
This is, we need to win. Like, I really want to win
Yeah.
this as
I would go
as a group.
that day when we were second by a
It
point.
was a long drive
Felt-
home.
Felt sick.
And then when I pulled up to Matt on the last day and I said, I told you we'd win. And I always wanted that opportunity to go up to him and say, I told you.
Yeah.
Does it make it sweeter, boys? 'Cause
Yeah.
you were second
100%.
last time. Makes it even sweeter. the
You've
win.
won it. You boys won the feeder, didn't you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've already won. Like, we'd not won it.
Yeah. No, yeah, you
No,
deserved
it's-
it.
it's-
It was so impressive to watch.
Yeah. And individually, that was
Oh.
quite impressive too.
Well, I think he individually across 8 people, we had 6 of the 8 in the top 20 frame.
7?
7.
Seven
Yeah.
of the 8 in
Brenda
the
were
top.
24th, I think.
Everyone's top 25 out of 184
On his
anglers.
debut,
On his debut.
24th out of 180.
A section winner.
Ridiculous.
Hello.
Obviously, Tank was 4th.
Yeah.
Well done,
Just off
Tank.
the podium.
Should
Great
have been
result. And
Should have been
Dent
third.
is second individual. What would it like coming second, James? Show us your trophy. Let's have a look at your trophy. It's a great beast, isn't it?
Look at
Look
that.
at that.
It's a belter, to be fair. Actually, before we went, I was stood in my garage sorting my stuff out, and I was on FaceTime with Matt, and I actually looked up at the trophy we won there last time. I said, I wouldn't mind another trophy from Walterland because they're absolute crackers, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Beauties, aren't they? Look at them.
How good are trophies in competitions as well?
so good.
It's nice winning money and stuff, but getting a trophy in a competition like that, it's just a joke, isn't it?
Every time
So good.
I go in and I look at the trophies, it spurs me on to want to keep going and try and do well every time. Do you know what I mean? But to come second individually, I really enjoyed the 3 days. It was really up my street. I've been patient and sort of
The waiting man.
The waiting man.
Tell him about Peter Classic.
Peter Classic.
Yeah, go on, Bob. Tell him about Peter Classic.
I think he's been next to you how many times, James?
Oh, quite a few times,
Quite
to
a
be
few
fair.
times. And he's like, James, I call him the waiting man because he waits, he catches fish, I wait, I catch no fish. He is the waiting man.
The whole of Croatia call him the waiting man.
But yeah, I tied with Marco Gianoncelli on 5 points, which obviously I was gutted to get beaten by him. But to be fair, he's caught a lot more fish than me, so he does deserve to win. But it's great to get on that podium. It's nice to do well as an individual and not let the team suffer from it, especially after last time when I was the one that let the team down from.
You didn't. 'Cause,
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, but I was the person who scored the Matt points out of.
I think it was significantly more. Straight to the jugular.
So it was nice to.
Matt said
I think that this mic's just come unplugged.
It was nice to not let the team
It's
down.
so nice seeing him being a human being, isn't it? Like, he's normal. This
Only
man ain't,
just.
though.
Yeah.
No.
This man ain't.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No.
No, it was brilliant to get on the podium and not let the team down,
That's
which is
mega.
fantastic. But I think as a group, everyone done absolutely fantastic.
Incredible.
Yeah, we had Anya in third as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our Dutch ladies international.
Yeah.
Was she 4 times world champion, Anya?
4, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Very
Incredible
impressive.
angler.
Don't want to be anywhere near her.
No.
Oh no, she
She's
beat me.
like, she's
Top leader.
incredible.
Yeah, well done.
Really,
Anya.
really
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah, really good.
Lovely person. And all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we stayed on and fished the feeder event, didn't we, Bobo?
Good. Love the feeder there.
Top
But
performer in feeder for us, lot?
yes, I was 5th individual, first and the second. The
Out
2
of how
days.
many?
How many? 158?
150 something. Yeah.
156.
156, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anglers.
So yeah, love the feeder fishing there. We obviously won the team event the year before. Amazing fishing, but I think we all felt it would be a little bit trickier, and it maybe better than the pole. But we
I
thought
took
it'd
a
be
bit more
trickier.
convincing, didn't I?
Yeah, I think after 2 hours we'd all fed a little bit too much bait.
Oh yeah.
I'd blown my peg like after about 20 minutes. But there you go.
But yeah, we got there in the end. I think 16 kilos the first day and 16 kilos the second day. Still brilliant fishing. And when you got a bite, if anyone, just imagine the best bite you've ever seen in your life on a feeder. And pretty much all the bites on that short line, especially like that, aren't they? Like,
Yeah.
I think, James, you got snapped on the bite a couple of times. And your clutch is set, isn't it?
Twice, 2 and 2 jugs.
Clutch is set. You think, right, that will just pull round and I'll just lift up. And you think, no, hook length.
I was looking in my bowl and I looked back up and it was like wobbling and I thought, something just happened there. Reeled in, just got no hook on.
It is insane fishing. And again, a bit like the pole, it's even more exciting because you're catching less, I think. So you're catching less fish. Again, maybe 10 fish is very good. Rooney had a mega day the last day, didn't you?
25
Yeah.
kilo, didn't you,
Yeah,
last
that's
day?
Yeah, I felt with that feeder match because it was a 2-day challenge. We had no practice day, which I'm a bit slower on practice days. I like to cancel stuff out rather than work stuff out. And my first day I was a little bit aggressive, but the second day, after seeing how Dent did so well on the first day and others, it was like really obvious how I needed to fish on day 2. And yeah, I drew in an area where there was a few fish and just it was great. Just got better and better. And
You were 7th individual?
yeah, 7th and won my section on the last day. Yeah,
And
but
Bill were 10th
Bill were 10th. Yeah,
individual.
we all did really
Yeah.
well again. But I think with one day's practice, I think all of us would have been in the top 10. You know, the fishing was like the year before, but it was real scaled back, and you had to tee everything up, and your timings were impeccable. But it was I loved it. Day 2 was like the feeder match was my best, like my favourite day.
Won a few beer
Yeah.
tokens and all
Yeah,
between us,
yeah.
didn't we?
First match they've had when it's money as well.
Yeah, first ever.
Sam has said.
Yeah.
Was $1 million for it to the winner, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
the
Yeah.
guy who's a Hungarian millionair.
German.
What do you call it? Hermit.
Hermit.
What a guy he is as well.
Legend
What a
of a
lovely
guy.
man.
I felt his leg, you know, really solid leg. I tapped him on
Why
back.
do you always go weird
I
on
tapped him on back at leg.
This is for a different podcast.
Yeah, I tapped him on back at leg and I was like, well
Third
done.
leg.
And he's got like iron legs.
Oh, it weren't his right leg, was it?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's got
He
metal,
has,
metal
yeah.
legs.
No.
Yeah, you idiot. What's his name? No, he was what a great guy, and he did his own
Lovely
thing, didn't he?
bloke.
Fished probably very different to everyone else.
Yeah.
He fished at 20 metres, didn't he? You know, he didn't fish 2 lines, just sat there and fished it out. Was
I like
really
that.
confident in what he did, and yeah, took it apart.
Yeah, he did brilliant.
Fair play to him.
Backo second.
Yeah.
I watched him second day with 4 pegs to my left. second day, and I think he won the match with 30 kilo.
Yeah, he might have
Incredible
done, yeah.
angler he
Yeah.
is for a young. He's 20. Peter
24
Backo's
nearly, yeah.
23 years of age. I think he's got 11 international gold medals
He's like
already.
Superhuman
his
robot.
His machine.
Yeah.
And we
He-
met his girlfriend, didn't we? She's lovely, isn't she?
Lovely.
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Jenny
I've got
from
a
the block.
photo with Jennifer.
Jenny from the
Coming
block.
to England, he's back or soon, he said.
Is he?
Yeah.
Gonna have a fish with
Gonna
us.
stay at my house.
Are we going to do something with Ringer and Backo together?
Yeah, I think so. Backo, to be fair to him, I think Tamas pushed him a little bit, but he couldn't. The first year we went, couldn't speak a word, couldn't really communicate with him, and he's English in
Got an English
3
teacher
years.
now.
He has lessons and he's learnt English. He's like phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
He's just one of them lads you'd take into a snooker hall and he'd just absolutely clean up. He's just brilliant at everything, and what a nice lad.
Yeah,
he is as
lovely
well.
lad.
Yeah, he's
Tell you anything,
God, he's going to win some.
he's going to be an
Yeah,
incredible
force
angler.
to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
When he's
Best
on
ever,
fish,
I reckon
mate,
he'll be.
you ain't
Yeah,
beating him.
no, it's brilliant.
We've got to get Ringer against him.
Yeah, I think we should tee that
Yeah.
up.
Bennett couldn't do it, Backo can.
Oh,
He
this
can.
is-
I'm not saying he
this
will. He
is,
can.
you know,
Yeah.
you give a few lads a few trophies, they
Yeah.
get all big in the boots, don't they? Jesus. Bennett, if you're watching, it'll be Bennett versus Bobby commercial series.
Oh, yeah, Bennett and Bobby.
Yeah, and
No
then
way.
we could do Backo versus Ringer. There's a venue in Hungary that I went to with Backo and Tamas, and it's like incredible. Carp, like from anything from sort of 4 or 5 kilo up to probably 40 kilo. There's sturgeon, there's catfish and everything. And you fish from 90 meters to 175.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and he does it with a feeder rod.
With mono as well, isn't
With
it?
mono, yeah.
Yeah.
And I reckon give Steve a couple of days on there, he could like
Tweak it.
he could pull Backo in a bit, I think.
Okay.
We've got to go.
I'm saying that's going to be a fishing gurus going forward. Backo versus Ringer.
Yeah.
We'll go to Hungary and let Steve fish against him on his local, and then we'll bring Backo over here and take him to Boddington's.
Boddington or Barston.
Yeah.
Backo's fish
Barston.
Barston, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I think finally as well, boys, before we leave, we've got to say a massive thank you to Tamas and all the Walterland team because, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, it's the best event I fish. Like, organisation second to none.
We don't want for anything, do we?
No.
They look after you like, you know, it's just incredible.
They're all
Yeah,
lovely.
it
lads.
is.
Laszlo,
Lovely
Matteo,
lads.
I don't know all the names, but everyone just can't do enough for you. And the organisation and how Tamas puts that event together is phenomenal.
I know it bugs him as well. Obviously, he's an amazing angler
Yeah.
himself, and he actually steps back and doesn't fish the
Yeah, he
event
didn't fish.
just to make
Thank
sure
God.
that just to make
He's
sure it's
always there.
organised.
Yeah.
It's great. We have a big meal the
Yeah.
night before the matches
Every day on
start.
match days, they bring you a little packed lunch, so you get a sandwich. They were nice then, weren't they? Bob?
Delicious, aren't
That
they?
Yeah.
ceremony is
Sandwich,
brilliant as well.
biscuits, coffee.
Yeah. Can I just say as well, the camaraderie between the anglers as well is great, isn't it? I'm not saying people in the UK are any different, but there, if you do well, everyone's shaking your
Shaking
hands,
your hand.
saying well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And if you know, and you do the same to them every single time. And I think I always think when we go over there, you think this is the way match fishing should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, you're right there.
You get in your
Yeah.
box and the people either side you come and shake your hands and you learn their names and you have a chat and you have conversation all day. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't understand a word they're saying, but you get each other's vibe.
That's how they feel when they're next to Dave.
yeah.
That's how we feel when we're next to Dave.
Who's this Jamaican bloke? The English team.
He's going on about Burger King. Oh dear.
No organisation, and if you're listening, Tamas and the team, honestly, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
guys.
Absolute credit to him.
Mega
it's
memories.
Incredible.
Amazing memories.
And I think as from my side of things, taking both of our teams there, you know, we're very lucky that Corda and Guru support us to do these events and like trusting us going there and doing well. And I think it's such a great thing for the brand and taking all you guys and how you behave out there as individuals and that it's a real honour to be part of like the Guru brand and name. No, I really mean that. It's really good.
Appreciate it.
very
mate.
lucky.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Enjoyed it.
What
really
a trip.
enjoyed it.
What a trip.
To wrap it up, quick round the table.
You're doing a rap, Tank. Go on.
Back it up, back it in.
Let me-
Backo, get ready for ringer.
That was crap.
Yeah.
What does it mean to each of us, starting with you, Tank, to win the Walterland Masters and this result this last week? How do you feel? What's it mean? Give me a little paragraph.
One of the best moments of me fishing life, definitely. As in going up there, especially after having come so close in a year ago, April, standing up there with the winning trophy. Obviously, I was super lucky enough to go with Steve, Bobby, and
double
Rooney,
champ.
the double champs. I've won the feeder.
Double champ! Oh my god!
Won the feeder and the pole, so I ticked off really now. Best moments ever really. I reckon amazing memories, and got to go next year and retain it. Can't wait.
Well
Dent
done,
dog.
Very similar to Tank, to be honest. After coming so close, really nice to get over the hurdle, but obviously one of the best events to be part of, and privileged to be invited and took by Guru and all that to get to go and fish it. It's unbelievable, and fantastic to do well. Absolutely loved it and can't wait to go back next year.
Roon doggy dog.
Best event in the world, isn't it? I love it. Love going with all you guys. Hate the journey. Good job, Bob does loads of driving. It's brilliant, and to be part of a winning team that are doing well consistently now over a few years, because the first few times we went felt like we were nowhere near, but now we've sort of got a gist of it. Can't wait to go back. Got a name for us as well, the cleanup crew.
Bobo.
Yeah, you've done me last, so everyone's going to use all the good stuff. Yeah, exactly the same. Spending the week, 10 days with you guys,
Especially me.
learning, especially Runes. We've been in each other's pocket all week, haven't we? But yeah, it's been great fun. Learning from you boys, especially you and James, Matt.
We've learnt more from you.
No,
exactly.
like your international experience and the amount of stuff you do behind the scenes in the mornings. You're always up first, getting the bait and stuff like that.
Trojans, aren't they?
Yeah, like it's really impressive to watch, and I can see why you two do so well internationally all the time. Yeah, it's really inspirational, to be honest. Really good. Yeah, I just loved every minute of it, and can't wait for next year.
Awesome. I think we should be really proud, boys. I certainly am. And in true Fishing Gurus podcast style, we've actually happened to collect a couple of extra trophies, haven't we? We've got one too many.
Yes, we have.
Did you know that? Toby's sat behind the desk. Obviously, we can't hear him, which is great. But
He's asleep.
what's this one?
He just
Bob?
give us a little sign.
So we got 5 trophies for each team.
Yeah.
Because obviously you take a bank runner, and we didn't have one.
No.
So we've got a spare first place from the red team, which I am going to leave right here in the podcast room.
Red team.
And Bobo, you got your.
And we've got our second place trophy right here.
So there
Beautiful trophies.
you go. Look at them two.
Scrapping.
That's your gift, Tobe. What are you saying? You'll have to shout up.
They're going right up there, right on top of the new cabinet.
Yep, I'll have a brew, mate. That's absolutely sound. Thank you very much. Lads, great show. Absolutely loved
All right,
it.
boys.
Should we do it again next year?
Yeah.